Moon in the first house. Emotional recognition and immediate presence. Welcome to Moon in the first house in synastry. In this overlay, we explore what happens when one person's moon, their emotional nature, inner world, instinctive responses, and deepest needs, falls into another person's first house, the house of self, identity, physical appearance, and the immediate way one meets the world. A brief word on synastry overlays before we begin. When we place one person's chart onto another's, we are not predicting outcomes. We are mapping the terrain, the emotional quality of the space two people create together, the ways they tend to affect one another. An overlay describes a tendency, a flavor, a gravitational pull. What people do with that pull is always a matter of awareness and choice. Astrology offers a language for dynamics that are often felt but rarely named. Now, Moon in the first house. This is one of the most viscerally felt overlays in synastry. When someone's moon lands in your first house, you feel it almost immediately, not dramatically, but in the quiet, undeniable way that some presences simply register differently. There is a sense of being emotionally met, genuinely encountered, from very early in the connection. The moon person feels an instinctive resonance with the house person's presence. Their way of moving through the world, their demeanor, even their physical appearance speaks to something in the moon person on a non-rational level. The moon operates through feeling and instinct, not logic, responding to the totality of who the house person is, not their achievements, but their felt presence. The moon person is simply drawn, without always being able to explain why. From the house person's side, the experience is equally striking. They often feel seen in a way that doesn't happen very often, not observed or analysed, but genuinely known. The moon person seems to intuitively grasp who the house person is beneath the social presentation, beneath the curated self. This can feel deeply comforting, almost like a relief. It can also feel a little exposing, depending on how comfortable the house person is with emotional intimacy. One of the most interesting dynamics here is the way the moon person functions as both mirror and witness. The first house is the house of identity, of how we show up and inhabit the self we present to the world. When someone's moon lands here, that identity is emotionally activated. The house person may find themselves more present to who they actually are, rather than who they think they should be. There is, in many cases, a quality of recognition that both people feel, a sense of having known each other before. What it points to is the unusual speed with which emotional familiarity develops. The social warm-up period that most relationships require seems abbreviated here. Two people can move into genuine ease quite quickly, which is both the gift and the complexity of this placement. The moon person brings a softening quality to the house person's self-expression. In their presence, the house person may feel less guarded, more willing to show what is actually happening inside them. The armor comes off, not because it is forced, but because it becomes unnecessary. At its best, this overlay creates mutual empowerment rooted in emotional authenticity. Both people feel more fully themselves in each other's company than they do in most other relationships. To the challenges, because every placement has them. The moon person may become overly identified with the house person's identity, taking their moods and choices personally, as if the house person's self is an extension of their own emotional world. There can be an unconscious possessiveness, not of the relationship but of who the house person is. The house person may begin to feel that the moon person's investment in their identity is a kind of pressure. The sense of being deeply seen, initially so nourishing, can begin to feel like being closely watched. They may feel they need to manage the moon person's feelings about who they are, which is an exhausting dynamic. The key is maintaining the distinction between intimacy and merger. Intimacy allows two people to be genuinely close while remaining genuinely separate. Merger collapses that boundary. Moon in the first can be drawn toward merger when the emotional pull is strong and neither person is consciously tending to their own individuation. When navigated with care, this is one of the most rewarding overlays in synastry. A relationship characterized by emotional ease, mutual recognition, and the rare pleasure of feeling, simply, at home. Moon in the first house is ultimately about being met where you actually are. And in that meeting, something in both people, something often kept carefully private, is allowed to come forward and breathe.
Thank you for listening. Next, we explore Moon in the second house.